Good morning, everybody. Dear students, in today's math class, we are going to discuss about speed. What do you mean by speed? Or what is speed? We can say that speed is the distance traveled by an object in a particular unit of time, whether it may be in 1 hour or in 1 second. How much distance that body travels, that is called the speed. So speed is the distance traveled per unit of time. Generally we say kilometer per hour or otherwise meter per second. So speed is always expressed either as kilometer per hour or meter per second. So speed we can define as the distance traveled per unit of time, that is called speed. It is expressed in kilometers per hour. We express it in kilometer per hour, means in 1 kilometer, 1 hour, how many kilometers that body travels, or in 1 second, how many meters it travels. That is called the speed of an object. So you know that for calculating the speed, sometimes we use meter per second or kilometer per hour. So sometimes we need to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second. So first of all, we study about how to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second. In order to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second, we multiply by 1000, because a kilometer we have to change to meter. In 1 kilometer 1000 meters is there, so we multiply by 1000 and divide by 3600. Why 3600? Because in 1 hour we have to change to seconds. So in 1 hour there are 3600 seconds. So we multiply by 1000 upon 3600, or when we cut and reduce, you can see that to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second, we multiply by 1000 and divide by 3600. That is, multiply by 1000 upon 3600. When we cut and reduce, we get a 5 upon 18, or we multiply that number by 5 upon 18, then it is changed to meter per second. And just reverse, in order to change meter per second into kilometer per hour, we multiply by 3600 upon 1000, that is 18 upon 5. So in this way, we can convert kilometer per hour into meter per second, or meter per second into kilometer per hour. How to calculate speed, distance and time? Students, speed means it is the distance traveled in a particular unit of time. So the speed can be calculated by dividing the distance by time, means how much distance that body travels in the particular time. If we divide that distance by the time taken to cover that distance, then we get the speed of the object. So we can say that speed is equal to distance by time. And if we want to find out the time, when we know distance and speed, if we divide that distance by the speed of that object, then we can find out that in how much time that distance can be covered by the object. So time is equal to distance by speed. Next, the distance, how to calculate the distance. If we know the speed and time, example, in 4 hours, in 60 kilometer per hour, in that if the body travels, then in 4 hours, how much distance it travels. So in order to find out that, we multiply the speed of that object by the time taken to finish that journey. That is, distance is equal to speed into time. So these are the 3 formulas that we can by which we can find out speed, time and distance. These formulas are very important. Every students must learn it. Then what is uniform speed? Dear students, uniform speed means if an object cover an equal distance in an equal interval of time. If an object travels equal distance at an equal interval of time, then we say that that body is in uniform speed. So uniform speed means if an object travels equal distance in equal interval of time, then that is called a uniform speed. And variable speed, if an object travels equal distance in unequal interval of time, equal distances in unequal interval of time, then we say that that body is in variable speed. Then sometimes if any object that changes its speed time to time, then the speed is calculated by taking the total distance traveled by the total time taken. Sometimes if any object changes its speed frequently, means time to time, its speed is calculated by taking the total distance, by dividing the total distance by the total time taken. This is called average speed. So average speed is calculated by taking the total distance traveled and total time taken and dividing total distance traveled by total time taken. In this way we find out the average speed. So students, uniform speed, variable speed and average speed. Uniform speed means if an object or a body that covers an equal distance of time in equal distance in an equal interval of time, then it is called uniform speed. And variable speed, if any object that covers equal distance in unequal interval of time, then it is called variable speed. Variable means change, speed is changing. The average speed, if any object changes its speed time to time, then the speed of that object is calculated by dividing the total distance traveled by that object by the total time taken. So that is called average speed. Average speed is calculated by using this formula, total distance traveled upon total time taken. Okay students, these are the important terms and formulas relating to the speed. Now we are going to solve the exercise. First question, convert the following speed into meter per second. Here speed is given in kilometer per hour. We have to change to meter per second. So I have explained that in order to change kilometer per hour into meter per second, we have to multiply that number by 1000 upon 360 or 5 upon 18. So here 45 kilometer per hour is equal to 45 into 1000 upon 36, 100. So here students, here both zeros we can cut, and then here you know that by from 9 table both are coming. 9 5s are 45 and 9 4s are 36. So it is 5 into 10, that is equal to 50 upon 4. 15 upon 4, when we divide we get 12.5. So 12.5 meter per second. That the speed of the object in meter per second we have expressed kilometer per hour into meter per second. Another question, 4.5 kilometers per hour. So here also 4.5 into 1000 upon 3600. 4.5 means 4 2s are 8 plus 1. That's equal to 9 upon 2 into 1000 divided by 3600. Here students, this we can cut, this 2 0 we can cut, and 2 and 10 we can cut 5. 9 5s are 45. 45 upon 36. That also we can cut by 9 itself. 9 5s are 45 and 9 4s are 36. That means 5 upon 4. 5 upon 4, when we divide we can get means 1.25 meter per second. So students, in order to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second, we have to multiply by 1000 and divide by 3600. I think you understood this, and there are some homeworks that you have to do, questions remaining. That is a homework for you. You try yourself. Students, now we are solving question number 2. That's a word problem. I will read the question, you listen. Rohit is driving his car at a speed of 42 km per hour. Find the distance covered in 42 minutes. So students, here he is driving his car at a speed of 42 km per hour. 42 km per hour, that is his speed, but we have to find the distance traveled covered in 42 minutes. So this meter per hour, kilometer per hour, we have to change to meter per minute, meter per second, not it is meter per minute, and that means we have to calculate the speed of the car. That speed of the car should be calculated in meter per minute, and time is given that 42 minutes. Find the distance covered in 42 minutes. So here we have to find out the distance covered in 42 minutes. Speed is given, but speed is given in kilometer per hour, and time is given 42 minutes. So we want to find out the distance. Distance is equal to speed into time, but the time is given in minutes. So we have to change the kilometer per hour into meter per minute, and then we have to solve this. So students, let us listen. Here the speed of the car is equal to, that is 42 kilometer per hour. 42 kilometer per hour, that is the speed of the car. So this speed we have to change to meter per minute, because here 42 minutes, how many meters he traveled, that we have to find out. 42 minutes. So how to change kilometer per hour into meter per minute? In 1 kilometer, 1000 meter is there. Therefore, we multiply 4000 to 42 into 1000 and divide by 3600. Not 3600. That is, we divide by 3600 when we want to change to seconds, meter per second, but here it is not meter per second, it is meter per minute. So in 1 hour, you know that 60 minutes are there, therefore we divide by 60. So here 1 zeros we can cut, and here 6 sevens are 42, that means 700 meter. 700 meter per minute. This is the speed of the car. 700 meter per minute, and the time is 42 minutes. In order to cover 42 minutes, how many in 42 minutes, how many meter or how many kilometer he covers, that we want to find out. So here we want to find out the distance covered in 42 minutes. Distance is equal to speed into time. So we have calculated speed and time. Speed is equal to 700 meter per minute into time is 42 minute. That we multiply. 7 2s are 14 and 29. That means 29,000 meter he covers in 42 minutes. That we can convert to kilometer. In order to change meter into kilometer, we divide it by 1000. That is equal to 29,400 divided by 1000. That is equal to 29 kilometers and 400 meter. So totally in 42 minutes he travels 27 kilometer and 400 meter. I think students, you understood that here his speed of the car is given, but that is given in kilometer per hour, 42 kilometer per hour. But here we want to find out the distance traveled in 42 minutes. Therefore, this kilometer per hour we change to meter per minute. Why meter? In order to change meter per minute, we multiply by 1000 and divide by 60, because in 1 hour 60 minutes are there. And then after finding out the speed, we multiply the speed and time, then we get the distance covered. Next, students, question number 3. A car travels first 100 kilometers in 2.5 hours and the next 30 kilometers in half an hour. What's the average speed? So I told what is average speed. If an object changes its speed time to time, then the speed is calculated by taking the total time taken, total distance traveled and total time taken, and then we divide total distance traveled by total time taken. So here a car travels first 100 kilometers. First 100 kilometers, that means distance, in 2.5 hours, that is time, and next 30 kilometers, that is also distance, and in half an hour, that next 30 kilometers in half an hour, that is time. So here total distance is 130 kilometers, 100 plus 30 kilometers, and total time taken, that is 2.5 hours and half an hours if we add, because first 100 kilometer he took that car took 2.5 hours, and next to 30 kilometers it took half an hour. So total time and total distance, first of all we calculate and then we divide both. So here average speed of the car is equal to total distance traveled divided by total time taken. Total distance traveled, first he travels 100 kilometers and then next he travels 30 kilometers. And for traveling 100 kilometers he uses 2.5 hours, and next 30 kilometers he covers in half an hour. So this is the total time taken, and this is total distance traveled, and this is the total time taken. So 100 plus 30 is equal to 130 divided by 2.5 plus half is 3 hours. So we divide 130 divided by 3. 3 4s are 12, 10. 3 3s are 9, and again we get 10. 3 3s are 9, means 43.3 kilometer per hour. That is the average speed of the car. So to find out the average speed, we divided the total distance by the total time taken. Students, next question number 4. I will read the question, you listen carefully. In a 1200 kilometer journey, a man's driving speed was 60 km per hour for the last 1/4 of the journey. If he completed the journey in 17 hours, total journey 17 hours journey, total distance 1200 kilometers, and last 1/4 of the journey his speed was 60 km per hour. Last 1/4 of the journey his speed was 60 km per hour, and then find his driving speed for the first 3/4 of the journey. So here total, suppose if this is the total journey, total how many kilometers, 1200 kilometers, and from here he started and here the journey ends, and here to here in the 3/4 of the journey, suppose in this 3/4 of the journey, this part, this is 1/4 and this is 3/4, this much part, and this 1/4 of the journey his speed was 60 km per hour. That means from here to here, in order to travel, he take 60 km. His driving speed was 60 km per hour. That means this is 1/4 of the journey, 1/4, and remaining 3/4. This is 3/4 journey, means this part. And what was his speed for this first 3/4 of the journey? Total distance from here to here, that is 1200 kilometers, and total time 17 hours. 17 hours is the total journey. In order to cover 1200 kilometers, he took 17 hours. And last 1/4 of the journey his speed was 60 km per hour. Then what is the speed in the first 3/4 of the journey? So here speed we want to calculate from here to here. In order to travel, means in order to travel first 3/4 of the journey, what was his speed? Speed is equal to distance by time. So we know we must find out what is the 3/4 of the journey, how much distance it was. So distance we have to find out, and also time also. In order to travel this 3/4 of the journey, how much time he used, that also we want to find out. So after finding out the distance, 3/4 distance, we divide that distance by the time taken to travel 3/4 of that distance. Then we get the speed of the 3/4 of the journey. So how to find out the distance of 3/4 of the journey and time used for completing 3/4 of the journey? That we have to find out. Total distance is given, that is 1200 kilometers. So 1200 kilometers, that is the total journey. That means from here to here, total 1200 kilometers. And for that he took 17 hours. 17 hours he took to complete that 1200 kilometers. And his speed of the last one-fourth of the journey. From here to here, in order to travel, he used 60 kilometers per hour. 60 kilometers per hour. That is the speed for the last one-fourth of the journey. Then what is the distance traveled in last one-fourth of the journey? That we want to find out. One-fourth of the journey, what is the distance? So here you know that total distance is 1200. So one-fourth of that 1200 we have to calculate. One-fourth of 1200. That is of means multiplication. So 1/4 into 1/4 into 1200. That we cut and reduce, then we get 300. So this one-fourth of the journey, last one-fourth of the journey, the distance is 300 kilometers. He traveled 300 kilometers in last one-fourth of the journey, and for that his speed is 60 kilometers per hour. Then we can find out how much time taken for last one-fourth of the journey. Time taken is equal to distance by speed. So distance divided by speed. This time means it is the time taken for completing this last one-fourth of the journey. That means in order to complete 300 kilometers, how many hours he took, that we want to find out. So it is 300 divided by 60. That is equal to here 6 5s are 30. That means 5 hours. So in order to complete the last one-fourth of the journey, he took, that means in order to complete 300 kilometers at 60 km per hour speed, he took 5 hours. So total journey is equal to 17 hours, and last one-fourth of the journey, that means for that he took 5 hours. So the time taken for 3/4 of the journey, from total time taken, if we minus the time taken for completing 1/4 of the journey, then remaining will be the time taken for 3/4 of the journey. So the time taken for 3/4 of the journey is equal to 17 hours minus 5 hours, that is equal to 12 hours. He took 12 hours to travel the 3/4 of the journey. Then that 3/4 of the journey means it is how many kilometers? What's the distance of that? Total distance is 1200, and here 1/4 of the journey that we have found out 1300 kilometers. So the distance traveled in the first 3/4 of the journey is 1200 kilometers minus 300 kilometers, that is equal to 900 kilometers. So last 1/4 of the journey means it is 900 kilometers, and that 900 kilometers he completed by taking 12 hours. Then if we know the distance and time, then we can find out his driving speed for the 3/4 of the journey. We know the distance of the 3/4 of the journey, and we know the time taken for 3/4 of the journey. Therefore, we can find out the driving speed. Speed is equal to distance by time. That is equal to 900 kilometers divided by 12. Here we can cut by 3 itself. 3 3s are 9 and 3 4s are 12. That means 300 divided by 4. 4 7s are 28, 20, 4 5s are 20. That means 75 kilometers per hour. So in order to travel that first 3/4 of the journey, his driving speed was 75 kilometers per hour. So students, I think you understood this problem. This is a long problem, but step by step you watch the video and then you can understand it very easily. So students, now we stop today's class from here. Remaining 3 questions are there that we will solve in the coming classes. Next class that we will solve the remaining questions. So students, today whatever we have solved, that you once you revise yourself, and also today we have studied about speed, what is speed, and how to convert, which are the unit for used for representing the speed, and how to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second and meter per second into kilometers per hour, and what is uniform speed and what is variable speed and what is average speed. These are the main points that we have discussed today. So once again you revise or go through all these main points, and today we are going to stop. So thank you everybody, have a nice day.